Hi, we're Dorks Gone Wild, and this is our game review of Castles of Mad King Ludwig by Ted Alspach. It's 1 to 4 player game. Takes about 90 minutes. Ages 13 and up.
So this one gets compared a lot to Suburbia. It's the same designer. It definitely plays different though. So if you're one of those people that own Suburbia and you're kind of concerned that maybe I don't need Castles Mad King, they don't play anything alike. You can actually own both. Even to the point, if you're not a Suburbia fan, I think you'll still like this one. This one definitely has some more theme to it, a little bit more abstractness to it, if that's a word. So building your castle is a lot of fun. So generally, on your turn, what you get to do is you have these built rooms and you get to put them in any order you want. And there's a little track down here for how much they cost. The cool thing about that is you get to set the price, although you get to buy it last. So the other people pay you to buy the room, and then you get to pay the bank. So you can try to get the room that you want for a good price, but not such a good price that somebody else buys it out from you. You can also look at the other players to see how they're building them and make them pay a lot for rooms you know they want. The rooms are they come in different shapes and sizes, and they do different abilities once you complete them. And there's a handy little cheat sheet that tells you what they do when they complete. So you do have to keep up with everything that's going on and make sure that you're putting the rooms out legally. So that was our biggest issue, is learning how each room works. So there's some rooms, like the green room, where you can't put it up against that fence,
Which is up here.
So you do have to pay attention to some of the different little details of each piece of cardboard, each room. The other cool thing is the goals. So there's 3 common goals. We have 3 of them out right here that everybody else is working on. That particular one right there was most green rooms. So that feels like Suburbia, where you do know a couple of the goals everybody else is working on. But then you have some hidden goals, which look like this, that you're working on by yourself, and you don't score them until the end of the game. I love games like that.
Hidden goals are fun.
Hidden goals are fun. They let the outcome of the game be in doubt. So somebody could be running away on the score track, and they may not be winning. The other little cool thing, so there's a deck of cards, the room cards, that come out, and that just tells you what size room is going to come out next. And then you grab them off the board here. That one was a 400, so you would take that out there. And the back of it does show you what type of room it could be. So this one could be a green, a blue, or a purple. So that way you can kind of judge, well, I need to get this kind of room out, or I need this size. So that's based on the goals.
And then you get to arrange them.
You get to arrange them in any order you want. And then ones that don't get bought, you put $1,000 on each one of them. So on your turn, basically what you're going to do is either buy a room, buy a stairs, and these stairs cost $3,000. Hallways and stairs. They both cost $3,000. And then you could also pass and take $5,000 cash, which is a nice way to get some money and then not give money to another player.
The stairs and hallways are double-sided for
upstairs and downstairs, so there's rules on how to do that. The rule book's not great at explaining some of the rooms and how they work, especially the bonuses and some of the terminology they kind of assume you know from Suburbia even. So be careful with the rule book. I think it's a game that you have to play a couple times before you know for sure what's going on. It probably took us 3 or 4 times to get it right. And it's one of those cool games when you take a picture of your castle because it looks totally different. Somebody will write it and go, "Hey, you played that room wrong." So you're like, "Oh, it's good to know." So what's your favorite part of this game?
I like building the castles. I really do, because everybody's is different, and everybody's going to use a different strategy, or even the same strategy. It'll still come out with a different outcome.
Yeah, everything does look different. There are many paths to victory in this one, which is nice. I have not seen one strategy that just dominates one room that's better than the other rooms. It's all what you're working on, what your goals are. Dislikes.
The score track. I hate those snake score tracks.
Yeah, I don't like the score track either. Here's the score track. It's one of those snakes that goes back and forth.
But it doesn't have the red lines.
It does not have the red line Suburbia, so you can score at will and not worry about any negative impact on that.
I like that it has the dungeons and stuff, like the downstairs rooms that are only downstairs, so you have to connect them to the rest of the castle with the stairs, and they're just fun.
So my biggest complaint with it is every player has to stay up on scoring. You score every time you put a tile out.
Well, not every time.
No, every time you play one, it at least scores a point.
Well,
So,
yeah, I guess.
So you have to pay attention to what you're doing. And so does everybody. There are some games where people go on autopilot and they're not paying that much attention. And a couple turns later, like, oh, did I score this room? Or when I did that, did I do that? So everybody has to stay up on what they're doing. So
what you do in Suburbia too, it's that same kind of thing.
Sure,
You
it
have
is.
an airport, so if I have an airport, and it
Yes.
affects things. And
So that's one of the biggest complaints on it. That and it is the score track's fiddly. You're always moving the score. Somebody has to stay on top of that. But I like this one a lot. This is a solid game. This is nothing like Suburbia. If you own Suburbia, you'll still like this. They don't feel the same. They don't even scratch the same itch. They are totally different. Any major dislikes for you, or?
no, I think the biggest thing was the score track, and then the rule book not going over the bonuses. We had issues with those at first, trying to figure out if that's what they were, if they were, I don't know. The closest thing to relate it to is the goals in Suburbia, which is kind of the same thing, but it didn't really go over it in the rule book, so that was frustrating.
So the game's readily available. Time Well Spent Games has
Time
it.
well spent.
So check it out. Castle Burgundy. We both give it.
That's not Castles of Burgundy.
Oh, the Castles of Mad Kings. Sorry. We both give it thumbs up.
Thumbs up.
Highly recommend it. It's a great game. Great fun.
Yep.